Have you ever stood by the banks of the mighty Mississippi River and felt a sense of awe? It's more than just water and mud. It's a living, breathing entity steeped in ancient stories that have been whispered down through generations. For countless tribes, from the Anishinaabe in the north to the Choctaw and Chickasaw in the south, this river isn't just a geographical feature. It's the sacred lifeblood of their world, a place of immense spiritual power. And where there is great power, there is often great conflict. Imagine a creature of immense size and terrifying strength, a serpent so vast it could coil around entire islands, its scales shimmering with the iridescence of fish and its horns glowing with a malevolent light. This is no ordinary snake. This is the Uhtena, or as some call it, the horned serpent, a powerful underwater spirit dwelling in the deepest, darkest parts of the river. The legends paint a chilling picture. The Uhtena was a being of chaos and destruction. Its very presence could poison the waters, causing whirlpools that swallowed canoes whole and floods that wiped out entire villages. Its breath was a foul, deadly vapor, and its gaze could turn a warrior to stone. It was a creature of the underworld, a force that threatened to pull all of creation down into its watery abyss. But for every force of darkness, there must be a force of light. For every power of the underworld, there must be a power of the heavens. High above the river, soaring on wings that blotted out the sun, lived its eternal adversary, the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird wasn't just a giant bird. It was a being of pure celestial energy, a guardian of the upper world. Its body was made of storm clouds, its eyes were living lightning, and the beat of its enormous wings created the deafening clap of thunder. This magnificent creature was the embodiment of order, strength, and righteous power. It was the protector of the people, the enforcer of cosmic balance. The Thunderbird saw the chaos the horned serpent was causing below. It saw the fear in the hearts of the people and the sickness spreading through the sacred river. It knew it could not stand by and let the world be consumed by this primal evil. The stage was set for a battle of epic proportions, a clash between the sky and the water, between creation and destruction. When the sky darkened and the wind began to howl, the people knew what was coming. It wasn't just a storm. It was the Thunderbird descending to fight. The first sign would be the flash of lightning, not striking the ground, but diving straight into the heart of the river. This was the Thunderbird's opening attack, a spear of pure energy aimed at its serpentine foe. The water would boil and churn as the horned serpent rose from the depths to meet the challenge, its roar a terrifying hiss that mixed with the wind. The river would surge over its banks, not from rain but from the thrashing bodies of these two colossal beings. Imagine the scene. The sky is a vortex of black and gray clouds, lit only by the constant, blinding flashes of lightning. The Thunderbird, a majestic silhouette against the storm, dives again and again, its talons crackling with electrical power, trying to snatch the serpent from the water. The Uhtena in turn coils and strikes, trying to drag its celestial enemy down into the murky depths where its own power was greatest. The rain that fell was not just water, it was a torrential downpour, as if the sky itself were weeping or raging. The thunder was not just a sound, it was the war cry of the Thunderbird, echoing across the plains and valleys. The people, huddled in their lodges, would listen to this cosmic war, praying for their guardian to be victorious. Elders would tell the children not to be afraid of the storm, but to respect it, for it was the sacred battle to keep them safe. These storms were the physical manifestation of a spiritual war. Each flash of lightning was a blow struck for order. Each clap of thunder was a declaration of the Thunderbird's dominance. When the river flooded, It was the serpent's rage spilling over. When strange, oily slicks appeared on the water after a storm, it was said to be the blood of the wounded Uktena. The tribes had ways of reading the signs. They knew which storms were simple weather and which were the grand conflict. They looked for lightning that struck the water repeatedly in one spot, or listened for thunder that sounded less like a rumble and more like a furious scream. They warned their children to stay away from the riverbanks during these times, not just for fear of drowning, but for fear of being caught in the crossfire of the gods. The river was a sacred place, but it was also a dangerous one. It was the source of life, providing food, water, and transport. But it was also the domain of the Uxtana, a constant reminder of the chaos that lurks just beneath the surface of the world. This is a key element in many indigenous belief systems, the concept of balance. The world isn't seen as purely good or purely evil. It's a delicate interplay of opposing forces: the sky world and the underworld, the Thunderbird and the Serpent, order and chaos, life and death. One cannot exist without the other. The Thunderbird's role wasn't to completely eradicate the horned serpent, for to do so would be to unravel the very fabric of existence. Its role was to keep it in check, to push it back down into the depths when it grew too powerful and threatened to overwhelm the world of the living. The battle was cyclical, never-ending. After a particularly violent storm, the skies would clear, the sun would emerge, and the river would slowly calm. The people would see this as a sign that the Thunderbird had won the day. It had successfully driven the serpent back into its subterranean lair. A sense of peace and gratitude would settle over the land. They would give thanks to the Thunderbird for its protection. But they knew the serpent was not gone forever. It was merely slumbering, healing its wounds, waiting for its next chance to rise. This is the great mythical balance of nature. It's not about a final victory, but about a continuous struggle to maintain harmony. This epic story is carved into the very landscape of the Mississippi River Valley. Look at the Piazza bird, the famous petroglyph painted on the bluffs near Alton, Illinois. While its exact origins are debated, many believe it's a depiction of a powerful flying creature, a local variant of the Thunderbird legend. It was painted on the cliffs overlooking the river, a permanent guardian watching over the waters below, a warning to any malevolent spirits that might emerge. The story also served as a practical guide. It taught respect for the power of nature. When you see a massive thunderhead building over the river, you don't just see a weather pattern. You see the Thunderbird gathering its strength. When you see a strange eddy or a whirlpool in the water, you don't just see a current. You feel the potential presence of the UHTNA. This myth teaches us that the world is alive with forces far greater than ourselves. It turns a simple thunderstorm into a dramatic, cosmic event. It transforms a river from a body of water into a living entity with a soul and a purpose. It's a reminder that for our ancestors, the world was not a collection of resources to be used, but a community of living beings to be respected. The balance was everything. The Thunderbird and the horned serpent weren't just characters in a story. They were symbols of the fundamental duality of the universe: light and dark, creation and destruction, sky and water. Their eternal conflict is what keeps the world turning. So the next time you look at the Mississippi or any great river and you see a storm brewing on the horizon, take a moment. Listen to the wind. Hear the rumble of the thunder. Watch the lightning dance across the water. Maybe, just maybe, you're not just witnessing a storm. You're catching a glimpse of an ancient battle, a timeless struggle between the Thunderbird and the Serpent, the sacred guardians and keepers of the river's mighty soul. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the mythology of the Mississippi. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the world's greatest legends. See you next time.